All set? Hello, everybody. Today, Governor Cuomo directed the DEC and DOH to come up with a series of actions to restore the public's confidence in Hoosick Falls. I'll begin with the DEC's action. With the concurrence of the DOH, DEC has today issued an emergency regulation listing the contaminant PFOA as a hazardous substance. This emergency regulation will allow DEC to tap into its Superfund authority both to investigate the extent of contamination of PFOA in Hoosick Falls and, importantly, to begin remediation quickly. We will begin working not only with the DOH, but with our partners at the EPA, the village, and the town. And now I will turn to Commissioner of DOH, Dr. Zucker, who will detail the DOH's actions.
Thank you, Commissioner. DOH has been working tirelessly for the past several months with the community to address the issue of PFOA in the water. As the Commissioner mentioned, the Governor has announced some significant state actions to address this issue, one of which you have heard about emergency regulations. Let me mention the 5 other areas that the state will take. We will classify St. Gobain facility as a state Superfund site to unlock state resources to address the contamination. We will also conduct a health risk analysis, or continue our health risk analysis that we started, to establish PFOA drinking water guidance levels. We will retest the private wells in the village of Hoosick Falls. We will immediately install filtration systems at school and other community gathering places. And we will develop a state hotline, which we will provide you with the number for public information if questions arise about this. We are working hard to make sure that the public's safety and the public's health is addressed, and we will move forward in any way possible. I'm happy to answer questions with my fellow commissioner.
I think we're going to turn it over first to Senator Marchione.
Sorry.
Thank you. It's really a pleasure to be here today and to be able to share such great news with the people who live in Hoosick Falls. You know, I know the mayor, the supervisor, even the school superintendent have been working diligently on making sure they can do everything that they can do to help out in this situation. St. Gobain has also been working with them. You've seen the community come together at a very difficult time. But until today, when the governor stepped up, and I will tell you, it was the governor in the room today, leading the meeting, caring about the community, asking the commissioners to take the steps that they are telling you today will be taken. I'm very grateful to Governor Cuomo for the meeting that he had and for the outcome of what we've come out with today. So I want to publicly thank the governor for intervening, for the state for taking this bold step of not only having the commissioners step forward, but to put the money behind these steps to be able to protect people for the safety and the health of some of the people who live within the 43rd Senate District. So I just want to say my thanks to the governor and the folks behind us for helping out in this very difficult situation.
Great. Thank you, Senator. And now we'll hear from Mayor Boers, Village of Hoosick Falls. I may have butchered your name.
No, you did okay. Thank you very much. I want to thank the governor for taking this immediate action. This is a tremendous step forward, a step in the right direction for the residents of Hoosick Falls and the greater Hoosick area. Things are going to start to happen very, very quickly. People have been extremely patient in a very difficult situation, and the governor has shown the leadership and the collaboration of the different departments, the Department of Health, DEC, in moving forward. So we are well on our way to resolving and fixing what's been an extremely difficult situation, and it's going to happen relatively quickly. We're very pleased. And again, I want to thank the governor for taking this leadership today. Thank you.
Supervisor, would you like to speak? Sure. Okay.
I'm Supervisor Mark Surinam, and I too just want to say thank you for the governor for the meeting that we were able to have today. What took place today is awesome. There's so many stories there where things just drag on forever and ever, but what happened today is really a boost to our community. A lot of people are scared about what the next steps were. Many of us don't even know what the next steps were going to be, but the leadership today that was shown by the governor and his staff and the commissioners that are involved, it's an awesome day for the town of Hoosick. We have a great community. many great assets. This was a huge unknown for us. It certainly wasn't going to help us, but we are very appreciative. On behalf of the residents of the town of Hoosick, I want to thank the governor and everybody involved in this.
Superintendent?
Ken Facine, I'm the school superintendent at Hoosick Falls Central School. On behalf of our students, our school community, and our families, I'm very grateful for the meeting today in which we saw a concerted effort by all the state agencies, led by the governor, to galvanize all of our efforts and resources to remediate the issues surrounding the water in Hoosick Falls and to restore confidence back in our community. It's a wonderful community, and I am excited about what happened today and very appreciative. Thank you very much.
Okay, and with that, we'll take any questions you might have.
Commissioner Zucker, what's the safe level of PFOA going to be at those filtered sites that you're referring to?
So we are going to work on identifying that. We're doing a risk analysis at this point. You know that the federal level was at 400, and we're going to work from there and identify what point, how far down we're going to go from there.
The level of 400 is only for short-term exposure, is
Right.
that right?
Right, that's what we have at this point. So, you know, when you look at a risk analysis, you have to look at long-term picture, and it depends on how long you want to go. The further you go out, the lower the level you want to be. So that's part of what we're going to do in our risk analysis. We've started that already.
When will people know what the safe level of PFOA in their drinking water?
We are doing that analysis now, and hopefully within the month we'll have some, or even sooner than that, we'll have some answers for you. Well, we'll hopefully have it sooner, yeah.
You've been aware of this for a year. Can you say why this took an entire year for you to take this sort of action? Why didn't you do this a year ago? This was brought to your
6 months ago, we were approached by the community. We started to measure the levels. Remember, the federal government has a level, and we know that the health risks to the health effects, I should say, are not likely to occur with the water. But we want to look at this in a long period of time, and we've been doing this. We've been doing the analysis and studying some of these lists.
action on this years ago, like New Jersey, for instance, they lowered the level to 400. Your level was 50,000. You see a
Right.
tremendous discrepancy. Why didn't you
Well,
raise the red flags
right.
6 months ago to see that?
Right, we have to remember that this is not something, 50,000 is, you have to first have something that's a chemical that we need to monitor, right? So once we have a level where we have to monitor, and this is what we're doing with the letter, we can then start to tackle some of this. But the fact is that we have looked at some of this information already, and we realize that levels of what we have here were not a risk to the community, but it is sort of a margin of safety, and that's where we're at. So the margin of safety we're going to get will probably be greater by doing it the way we're doing.
The state reversed itself. In December, the state said it was okay to drink the water. It's out there actually saying it's okay. And just 2 weeks ago, the state said you shouldn't drink the water.
So I know this question has come up several times, so let me address it. So I went back and I looked at that, and we've never reversed our position. And I can quote what we had before. We had said before that if tap water or well water is found to contain PFOA, people may consider to use bottled water. And what we said subsequent to that was, quote, ways to reduce exposure from tap or well water found to contain PFOA is to use bottled water for drinking. We never changed our position on this. So.
Well, it says, health effects are not expected to occur from normal use of water, which I assume means drinking it. And then in January, you said don't drink the water.
Right. We said that we wanted to minimize the exposure to PFOA, and this is one of the ways to do this.
Well, to that point, should the state, knowing what we know now, should have acted earlier on this issue? Do you feel like when it's supposed to be taken as seriously as it should have been?
I think we have taken this very seriously, and I think what happens is once you have a number, the number 400 is what the federal government has put forth as a level. And obviously, we are trying to be, and we will be, more aggressive in bringing the level down further from 400. And I can't give you the number yet, but we will get that to you. And there hasn't been any health effects that we have noticed on this. However, let me also add, we as a department will be looking and continuing to look at any of the risks that people may be exposed to this. So that involves any of the issues of long-term effects of cancer.
The federal government has set the level for short-term exposure, not normal residential usage. So why is 400
Well, the 400 is the level we have from the federal government. Right, but we are doing a risk analysis now, and this is ongoing, to figure out at what level we need to bring this down to. But in the interim, we have worked with the community for bottled water. I didn't catch your question. Yes, you'll take that one, yeah.
So we don't need a particular level under Superfund. As long as the chemical is recognized by the department as a hazardous substance, we can then apply the full force of Superfund to address it. For whatever reason, it's a newer chemical, it's not well understood, it's not one of the listed chemicals currently in New York State. By signing the authorization today, I'm going to make it a chemical that we can actually address with Superfund.
Why are you signing an authorization? What about that chemical makes you listen?
Well, from what I understand, and certainly the referral that I'd received from Dr. Zucker, leads us to believe that the health risks posed by PFOA at certain levels and studies that we've seen around the nation lend it to a hazardous status. So we will explore not only where the contamination is and at what level in the ground, but how to pull it out of the ground aggressively.
When you look at other sites around the state, this chemical certainly is going to be present in other manufacturers.
Well, we certainly have convened the teams to look at where PFOA may be present. At this stage, we don't know of any instances where you have contamination at this level.
Commissioner, who's going to be paying for this work, with the studies involved, the filtration? What's the industry's, what's the company's exposure liability here?
Sure.
The state's going to try and recapture?
Sure. Well, look, I'll speak about our work, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Zucker. State Superfund exists to enable the DEC to go out, spend money against the state Superfund to address investigations and conduct some remedial work. We then turn that around. We go after the polluter to recover those monies. So that's what we're going to do on the DEC side. And I'll turn it over to Dr. Zucker for the DOH side.
And from the DOH side, we've been doing this risk analysis, and we will be continuing to pay for that as part of it. The DOH has been doing an analysis, and that is paid for through DOH.
Mayor, is there anything you would like the state to do? You were criticized for not taking swifter action on this. You wish the state had given you different advice? It seemed like they were telling you to safe. You said that you were following their advice.
I think that we've been very proactive with this right from the beginning, and I am very pleased that the state is stepping forward now to do this, and it's going to make us reach our goal of clean water and cleaning up the sites that much quicker. So for that, I am very grateful.
Why did the village hire a home relations firm to get the message out there? Was that a good use of public funds to do that?
Well, there are no public funds involved with that. So what we had to do, because we're a small community, we had an emergency situation. We needed to bring together a team of experts, and that included legal experts, engineers, as well as communication experts. And we needed to be able to get information out to people in a quicker fashion. We just didn't have the resources to do that. Now we do, and again, we are going forward.
What's your assessment of how people in Hoosick Falls have been harmed by this, either short term or long term?
This has been, I'm sorry. Yeah. This has been a very difficult time. There's no question about it. It's been traumatic for folks. In terms of health issues, I'm not a health expert. I'm going to defer to the folks that do that. But just in terms of the fear that people have had and the concern, it's all genuine. Now we have something concrete that we can go forward with and show people that steps are being taken, and we know that this is going to resolve this.
Have you been using the water yourself?
I have been in the past, but I am following the EPA and DEC's guidelines now.
The study, the data for the short term, I feel that there's no health effect at this point that we measure, okay? I think that the question about long-term data is something which we need to study. We are looking at cancer risks, both short in the last handful of years. We have data from 1995 to 2012 that we will be looking at. I can't say any more recent than 2012 because we don't have comprehensive data. We're also quickly looking at 2005 to 2009. And once we get that data, I'd be happy to share it with you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Whose is this?